Hi guys, welcome back. Today I thought I'd talk about a foundation that is relatively new to me. Like, I've had it for a while now, I just haven't had the time to get to filming this video. And also recently I had like the worst skin breakout that I have ever experienced in my whole life. My skin just broke out in loads of bumps and lumps and it was just awful. So I haven't worn makeup for about 2 to 3 weeks, which is a long time for me to not wear makeup for, and my skin has had such a break and it's looking and feeling so much better for it. So I was really reluctant to put anything on my face during that time when I did buy this, but my skin is back to normal now and I wanted to do a review on a couple of products. And the first is the Bourjois Healthy Mix Foundation. So basically they brought this out a few times and they've reformulated it a couple of times as well. This is the most recent one with the new swanky packaging, and also they brought out a completely brand new product to coincide with it, and it's the Healthy Mix Anti-Fatigue Concealer, which I'm so excited about because I really love their Radiance Reveal Concealer. It's one of my favourites, so I'm really happy and excited that they've extended their concealer family because it's such a good product. So I wanted to talk about this one and give it a try and let you guys know what I think about it. So I'm wearing both of them on my face today. So what I thought I would do is talk to you, because there are a few things I love about it and there are a few things that I'm not so sure about it as well. So I'm going to kind of insert now my first application so you guys can see. So I'm just going to use my normal foundation brush, which is the Louise Young LY34 brush, and I'm just going to apply a small amount. It is about 1 to 2 shades too light for me, so the shade isn't bang on, but I'm just going to work with it anyway and apply it. And the texture and formula is very runny. It's a lot runnier than the original, so it's a lot more hydrating, I feel, and it's kind of seeping into my skin really nicely. And from what I can see from far away, the coverage is looking okay, but I'm going to have a look at it in the mirror just to see what I feel about it properly. But it's smoothing on nicely, it feels hydrating, it feels comfortable, and it doesn't feel sticky or heavy, and it's giving me a nice smooth even canvas, which I really like. So the foundation definitely looks very, very pretty indeed, and I only used one pump. So to get one pump and do my entire face, I feel like that's very, very good, and I feel like that's down to the formula. It's quite a runny consistency compared to the other releases that they've brought out from this range, and so they've definitely improved that. But what I thought I would talk about before I go into my initial thoughts is why this is different, what's changed. So first off, packaging. Packaging is very, very nice. I like it a lot. It's a glass bottle. It's kind of like a chunky square shape. It's very nice, kind of like a rectangle. Comes with the lid and the pump, as most of them did already. And one thing I will say is this pump leaks like a mother. Like, seriously, it leaks so much. It's the only one that I've ever found to this is similar is the Magic Foundation. That leaks. This one does the same, so it's quite wasteful. So if you can recommend something to stop that happening, I always store mine upright so they never lay down or anything like that, and I never kind of leave any at the nozzle. I feel like it just leaks. So even though I like the packaging visually, the pump does leak, so that's something to consider, especially if you're not a big fan of waste and that kind of thing and having to clean it, because it does get crusty around the nib, which is not great. And basically this is meant to contain vitamins C, E and B5, so very hydrating, very enriching. It's meant to give you a very radiant look, so it's meant to feed the skin, make it look more plump, youthful, awake, more radiant and more nourished. So I like that about it. Giving more vitamins, that's great. It's also claiming to give you 16 hours worth of hydration. I feel like that's a pretty bold claim, but I did try it. I don't feel like it gave me 16 hours if I'm completely honest. I feel like it gave me around 8 hours, which is a massive difference between 8 and 16, but I do have combination oily skin, so you know, that's not too much of a bad thing. I could have used a setting powder on top, I didn't, so that's something to consider as well. I could have set it but I didn't, but I don't feel like it would give me personally the 16 hours of hydration. It did oxidize on me ever so slightly, so that's something else to consider as well. If you tend to get quite oily and foundations tend to oxidize on you, I found that this one did. So the vitamins in this foundation are meant to make the skin look more radiant, less fatigued, less dull and more bright and awake, and I definitely do agree with that. It's very brightening foundation, very, very pretty, very fresh faced. I don't feel like I look like I'm wearing a full face of makeup, and I definitely don't feel like I am, and I feel like that's one of the most important things with a foundation, because I don't necessarily need lasting power. I only wear my foundation for a few hours during the day, so I don't need it to be super mega long lasting. What I do like is when I am wearing it for it to feel comfortable, and this definitely does. So I'm going to talk about the pros and cons now we've spoken about what the differences are between the new foundations and the older ones. So basically New vitamins, fantastic, very radiant looking, very, very nice. The thing I love about it is it's very light. I think that's my favourite thing about it. It's very light texture, easy to apply, easy to blend. I didn't need much, a little bit went a long, long way. Coverage was okay, it wasn't astounding, like I have much better foundations in the drugstore for coverage. I feel like it's definitely a light to medium. Again, I only used one pump for my entire face. You could build it up, but I feel like if you're building it up, then you're compromising on the best thing about it, which is the lightness. So if you need a full coverage foundation, I wouldn't necessarily recommend this one because I feel like there are better ones out there for the money when it comes to drugstore foundations. However, if like me, you just want a little bit of coverage, you want the brightness, the dewy complexion, the healthy complexion, along with those ingredients that I've discussed, and along with it only lasting between kind of 8 to 10 hours, then I feel like this foundation would be pretty good for you. If you're not too bothered about it lasting a full proper day, then this would be okay. Again, you could build up the coverage by adding another layer, you could set it and make it last longer, but I just wanted to give you the raw authentics of this foundation and what it did for my skin personally. The scent is pleasant, it kind of has that Bourjois healthy mix scent, so that's not changed. And I feel like that's pretty much it. Like I like it, but it's not my favourite. Like I'm kind of indifferent about it. Like I don't want to rave about it because I don't feel like there's much difference to the older foundations apart from the fact that it's a lot lighter, which I love. But I feel like it's just okay. Like I don't have strong feelings about this foundation. I prefer other ones from the drugstore. I do love the healthy mix, but I'm not wowed by it because it doesn't last as long as I feel like it should, and I don't particularly have overly oily skin. I don't need a lot of coverage, and I still feel like there were areas, especially where I had acne scarring, that it struggled to cope. So you know, it's okay, go and give it a try, see what you think, but if you're expecting it to last 16 hours, I would say apply a little bit more and make sure that you set it. If you want it to be a medium to full coverage, either add a little bit more or use a concealer alongside it. But apart from that, love the finish that it gave, very radiant, very dewy, and the best thing about it again is the lightness. So that's the foundation, it's okay. The next thing I wanted to talk about is the concealer. Now the concealer I absolutely loved. I had a feeling I would love this because again I'm such a fan of the Radiance Reveal concealer. I love the packaging of this. I honestly do feel like the packaging looks so much more high-end than it actually is. I love the applicator, it's so easy to apply, and what I love about this concealer is the fact that it's super blendable. Like it's so soft and creamy and you can just blend it in with a brush, finish patting it in with your fingertips, and it looks beautiful. I'm going to show you me applying the concealer now so you can see what it looks like. So my dark circles are not too dark, like they're just regular. I wouldn't say I had big bags under my eyes, but this definitely helps to neutralise the area, balance it all out and just make things look a little bit more perfected, and I really like that. It didn't crease or ball up. I tend to have a lot of creasing when I smile. I don't want to say wrinkles, and it dealt with those really well. It didn't kind of gather into any fine lines, it didn't cake up or crease or oxidise, it just stayed very true, very hydrating and balanced those dark circles out. So absolutely love this concealer. I definitely have a place for it in my collection because the Radiance Reveal is much more of a highlighty concealer. This is just kind of that hydration, that balance, but without any shimmer. So a really good authentic looking concealer that I really, really like. The only downside to this concealer is the fact that it only comes in 3 shades, and I find that quite limiting. It comes in light, medium and dark, and obviously that's not going to cater to many skin tones at all. So if they could expand that, that would be fantastic, but other than that, absolutely love it. When it comes to the foundation, I also think that the shades are quite limited. I think you get that with Bourjois. I think they could really do with extending their colour selection, because I know that if you're either really dark or really pale, there are never tones to really suit, and I know a lot of people struggle with that. Brands like Revlon, Max Factor have really nailed it, L'Oreal to some extent, and really offered us a wide range of shades, and I feel like Bourjois are a little bit behind on that front, so that could be improved upon. But apart from that, great foundation for everyday, not too long wearing, but you know, very nice and light if that's what you're looking for. Concealer, absolutely love it. So that kind of sums up my review in a nutshell. I feel like, to sum it up, I'm okay about the foundation, but I love the concealer. So please comment down below with what you think about it, if you're a fan of the original formula, if you love this new improved, if it's lasted longer for you, what you've done, methods that you've used, all that kind of thing. I'd love to hear from you. If you're new to my channel, hi, I hope you decide to stay with us and subscribe. I post every Sunday and occasionally on a Wednesday as well, so I'd love to have you part of our little family. And please give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and check out my previous videos here, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye!